Why is it so difficult to bring those types of journalists and scientists together?
Well, I think that there are a couple of things that have to be overcome, and I think they can be overcome. One is we communicate in different ways, so learning how to listen carefully, how to communicate more effectively between groups is very important. Scientists tend not to be great communicators. And so one of the barriers, I think, is on our side. More than that, I think that one of the other obstacles that we have is that there may be a certain level of misunderstanding of what each group needs to accomplish or wants to accomplish. And I think the objective here, the solution here, is for us to figure out, well, where by coming together can we do a better job of solving problems in a collaborative way. My experience with journalists has mostly been, I come up with a scientific finding, they ask me some questions, they get their quote, they write their story. And that's the end of it. And I don't think that serves a broader mission, which is to improve conditions on the planet for people and for plants and for animals. So I think by coming together we can do a better job of that.
There is a problem of media in the moment. We have new medias, newest medias that are changing journalism at all. So the journalists have to think about their profession in a newer way and make new alliances. But what is the benefit for a scientist?
Well, to be very honest with you, for most scientists, there's probably not a benefit in talking to a journalist. It's time away from their science, it's a time away from their teaching. It may make them nervous that they're going to be misrepresented, misquoted, and that can hurt their reputation. So there are many reasons why scientists would not want to work with journalists. So what's the reason why you would work with a journalist? And the reason why is because you believe that your science is being done for a bigger purpose than just science itself. If you believe that your science is, the best place for it is in a journal where other scientists read it, and that's it, you shouldn't talk to a journalist. But if you believe that you're doing your science so that it can have an impact on society, maybe it's in economics and business, maybe it's in public health, like my field. If you want it to have a bigger impact, beyond what other scientists do with it, then society has to be able to get their hands on it. And journalists are the people you need to talk to if you want to effectively get that message out.
So it depends on the scientist. You have to find idealists.
Well, I think that's probably true. There are scientists who probably also work with journalists because they have big egos, and so they want the press, right? So we're all human, but for those of us who are idealists and optimists, then we believe that the reason to do this is to get our science into the hands of the public so someone can use it.
I've heard the last hour with Sam Rowe, and there was one point where Sam Rowe asked you, "Is it possible to get evicted?" Mm-hmm. Can I get the connection to victims? And you say, "Oh, I don't like that question."
Yeah.
Why?
Well, the reason is that if you're a physician scientist, I'm a doctor. You're a physician scientist. The above all else is my relationship to my patient. And when you're asking me, "Can I talk to your patient?" it's asking me to go back to a patient and talk to them in a very different way. So instead of it being about me helping you as my patient to get well or manage your illness, I'm now saying I have another motive. My motive is to tell the story about your disease. It may not benefit you. It might even hurt you to talk to this journalist. Are you willing to do that? That has the potential to compromise the doctor-patient relationship. So that's where I get nervous with that. I've done it many times, and usually the way I solve it is I I will, give the name and the phone number and the email of the journalist to the patient, and I'll say, if you're interested in talking to them, this is how you can contact them, and I don't need to know whether you talk to them or not, and in no way does it matter to me if you do. And I have to take that position because I have to protect my patient. So that's why that question makes me nervous, and yet I've done it many times. And patients have wanted to share their story, and that's great if they want to do that. But I still have to be their doctor.
Okay, you have been a former journalist, so maybe it's not the right question for you, but what can scientists learn from journalists?
How to communicate more effectively. My greatest complaint about scientists is that they spend too much time on their science and not enough time learning how to communicate effectively. And as a professor, as a mentor to young scientists, I spend a lot of time on, one, their ability to think critically about what they want to say, and then two, how to say it clearly. Getting rid of all the jargon is probably one of the hardest things. Having the empathy for me to make eye contact with somebody and judge whether they're understanding what I'm saying or do I need to rephrase it. These are skills that scientists don't have, and many journalists they probably take it for granted. They've self-selected into journalism because they have communication skills and they have the ability to read other people, right? Scientists, not so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.